What is good, Diaper Dad fam? We are back, episode 5, man. Boog, what is good, baby?
My brother, what's popping? We back at it again for another episode. But this episode is a little different. We got our very first guest on here, just a tad bit different this time around. It's not just me and GQ. We got our boy Nick on here. Nick, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
What's going on, guys? My name's Nick, aka Nicky D. Huge fan, Diaper Dads, love it. Just happy to be here, man. Appreciate y'all for having me. Appreciate that.
For sure, man. Thank you for carving some time in your busy Diaper Dad schedule.
For sure.
To be on here with us, bro. But GQ, let the people know what today's topic is going to be about.
Man, today, like I said multiple times before, man, we got different things that we always get in our inbox, people want to hear. But when we were talking to Nick earlier today, man, one thing that he was expressing was, us males, especially fathers, expressing our feelings about certain situations that happen in our relationship also, and being a parent to our close friends. If Nick elaborate on that a little bit, what what we were talking about.
Yeah, man. So pretty much, us as men, guys, dads, all that together, we have a lot of stuff built up, emotions, thoughts, just things day to day that we feel. People think that we just don't feel as much, especially being guys. As far as expressing yourself, yeah, man. So like a lot of times people will think, oh, I can't go to my homeboy. He's not going to understand. He's not going to see where I'm coming from. Even more so on the dad tip, he out here drinking. He out here going out with a different girl every other week. So he's like, he ain't going to understand what I'm talking about. But to touch on what we was talking about, it's like most of the time that's not the case. So it's like you'd be surprised at what the feedback you would get just from guys who are in your situation, guys that are not. And like you said, like guys that could just get you out of that space mentally, whether it's good or bad, just, get your mind off of it to go do this, boom, boom, boom. Or, all right, let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're definitely right, man, because, even like when me and Lawrence talk, man, off air when we're just texting and stuff like that, we might talk to each other about certain situations that we might not talk to other individuals about. So today, I just wanted us to talk about certain situations and certain feelings that we have that we might not bring to the table for people that might not understand, but it's certain situations that we can bring to them for them to understand, because like you said, Nick, they can comfort us in a situation or in a way that we might not think. You know what I mean? So one of the things I'm going to talk about, or one of the feelings I'm going to say is, I would say having issues with our significant others. You know what I mean? And either one of y'all can elaborate on that, but that's a feeling I feel like everyone goes through. You know what I mean? Everyone goes through that, where they might have a situation with their significant other, they might disagree or something small or whatever, but we might not reach out to our friends in a group chat because maybe some of them are single, maybe some of them don't have kids, right, or maybe we just don't think they're on that mature level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would say, what would be another situation for you, Boog?
I mean, talking about day-to-day dad shit, you can't talk to somebody who doesn't know our world, right? You would think that. And that's why I'm glad we got Nick on here, because maybe Nick can expound on what I'm about to say. But before I had kids, Nick was the first one out of my core circle to really have a child, being a young father. And he would come to me for certain shit when it came to about him being a father.
So hold on. I'm about to stop you right there, because this is perfect. Now we in a great position. We're in a great situation right now. Right. Nick, explain to us what was the reasons why you would talk to Lawrence instead of somebody else. You know what I mean? Because at that point, Lawrence ain't got no kid. Lawrence ain't really in the situations you've been in. So kind of tell us what was your mindset of why were you reaching out to Lawrence?
Well, my whole thing is, we all got our different groups of friends for certain things and things like that. So with Lawrence, before, he had Bo and Cassidy, it was just, I was with him a lot. So it's like we just talked in general. He knew a lot about me. I knew a lot about him. So it was more so a comfortable thing. And I knew Lawrence, he was mature enough to understand certain things, and he, the certain type of household he grew up in. So with that being said, like even though per se he didn't have kids, I knew he would take me serious. He would listen. He would understand. He would give me certain feedback that I knew that not necessarily what I, want to hear. He would tell me what I needed to hear. Whereas other people, a lot of my guys, I'm close with. Like prime example, Ike that we hoop with.
Yeah.
Ike, great guy. That's my best friend. But when I come to him with certain things, he didn't necessarily have certain experiences. So he just always want to see me happy, great guy, things like that. So he's just going to comfort me. Whether, right or wrong, he's just going to be like, nigga, it's all right, just boom, boom, boom. I'll come to Lawrence, we just talk, rap, he'll just lay it out for me, things like that. So Lawrence is on that different level, I would say.
And on the flip side of shit too. So now we're going to get into the perspective of what it's like on the friend side of things. And when you not necessarily don't know how to react to certain shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. When Nick used to come to me with shit, I'd be like, I wasn't caught off guard, but I just didn't know how to react, because at the end of the day, you don't want to not say the wrong things because you want to give them the raw truth. But you just don't know how would I answer a question about parenting if I was just down in this bottle 2 nights ago. You know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah, it's bad.
But you learn that, like, when it comes down to your trust levels once again, but you learn how to articulate your thoughts to your friend who's in need just for comfort. You know what I mean? It's not more necessarily, hey, this is what you need to do with Lily. No, it's more so, hey, bro, I got your back. I understand what you're going through. It's a tough time. I'm here for you. Let's talk about it.
So let me ask you this, Nick. How did you expressing those feelings to Lawrence about, certain situation, how did that comfort you, and how did that make you feel talking to Nick instead of talking to Ike? You know what I mean? And just to give Ike as an example of someone that, like you said, on his side, he's just gonna say, hey, oh, good, this, that, and the third. He's just gonna, tell you the things you want to hear. But Lawrence is gonna give you the real deal, this, that, and the third. But how did that make you feel inside as an individual to make you move on from the situation?
Well, to bounce on the first part, what you saw I'm talking about as far as talking to Lawrence, expressing myself to Lawrence, and I kind of had to learn this over time, and just getting that out, literally just getting it out is just one part of it. Getting it out and then hearing what Lawrence had to say, like I come to him with an example, just I'm going through this with my girl, my kids doing this, and like you say, he like deer in the headlights. He's like, I don't know what to do with that, but it's more so him running down every scenario, like, okay, well, think about it from this person's point of view. Think of it from this point of view. Think about this situation. Well, what if this happened? And he's not just sitting here saying like, man, fuck it, you be all right, man. You good, you good, you good. So that just made me feel good. I'm like, okay, I'm getting something. Where it's not just, I'm just hearing what I want to hear. On the flip side, I'm talking to Ike, and that's what he's doing. He's doing what a friend should do at the end of the day, pretty much. You want to comfort your friend. And it's just like, all right, come on, man, let's go get a drink. Let's forget about it. Let's not even think about that right now, blah, blah, blah. But the only thing with that, I'm still dealing with the shit. Then I'll come back and think about the situation with Lawrence, and it's like, oh shit, now I really got a different perspective. Now I can approach my same situation with a different mentality. So now that I'm moving forward, I got something out of it, So that's the two main differences that I can see personally.
Gotcha. One thing I was just thinking about, now that we talked about, we got the perspective from talking to a friend and expressing our feelings to a friend. How many of us reach out to our fathers, you know what I mean, to express feelings? Because, to me, I'm going to tell you up front, I ain't never talked to my dad about nothing relationship-wise, nothing parent-wise, just because, like, I don't even think I'm at that comfort level with him. You know what I mean? Like, and now this is going to get crazy because I know we all got different perspectives on this, but just to start with me, like, I talk to my dad, all the time. We talk about sports, you know what I mean? But I think we never really talked about like, yo, like how are you doing in a relationship. I think one time we did when quarantine first started, you know, he was talking about like, yo, how are you guys doing with that, this, that, and the third. But we've never really, you know, talked about like relationship things, parent things. And I was wondering, like, what is your take on that? Because I could damn sure know y'all ain't talking y'all father. Well, maybe Nick. I want to hear from Nick though, yo.
Hey, look. All right, so everything with me is kind of twofold, man. So to me, my dad is shit. I can't nobody tell me nothing about my dad. Like he's the like model citizen father figure to me. Obviously, it's my pops, so I'm gonna be a little biased, but y'all know my pops a little bit. But it's so two-faced or twofold because it's like you said, Shane, like I talk to my dad about sports, you know, school, you know, just regular everyday shit. And then, but the thing about it is, I never talked to him about, basically, I never even told him I had a girlfriend until like almost like months, years later. And then, so that's just the type of relationship we had. And it's crazy because we never would talk about shit like this. But then when shit hit the fan, that's when I'm like, damn, he's like the only person that really would break shit down to me. And I have had talks with him like that. But it's not like a regular thing. So that's why I'm saying it's twofold. We're just like, I'll shoot the shit with him. But then when it gets bad, like, and I'm just like, I have nothing left. I have nobody to turn to. He's there. And I really would just break down to him. And he would speak that real to me. And I'm like, man. And then even after that, I still wouldn't talk to him.
And that's what I think what it all comes down to is that we all got this macho man syndrome inside of us. You know what I mean? Like when we're around other men, we don't talk. What the fuck am I talking about my feelings and my relationship with you? Man, I'm trying to talk about this fucking basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Like we have that build in us to where we're just it's just so fluent to talk about these things with your pops, because your dad is the one that always told you got to be tough. You the man. One day you're going to be the man in the house. You got to do this, that, and the third. And we've always resorted to going to our mothers for shit. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how many times I've been to my father. I can count on one hand how many times I've been to my dad about being in a relationship and talking about those feelings that I'm experiencing. But my mom, I can talk to my mom about everything, and she'll just give me the other side of the coin. And then I'll just put everything into perspective for me, and then I'll be able to bottle it down, retain the message to myself, and then I'll be able to carry out my actions. So I think it just comes down to, yo, we just got to learn to just sit, chill, bro. It's okay to talk about your emotions with your close friends, those you call brothers, especially. You know what I mean? Those your ride or die homies. Well, shit, if he's gonna be your ride or die, he's gonna ride with you if you tell him whatever the hell you got to tell him. If he's really a true friend, he's gonna be there for you no matter what. So
that's true. That's true too. But I also want to touch on the father situation too, because our fathers, they've been through it. You know what I mean? They know, they know the little ins and outs. And it's funny because I was talking to my friend, man, and she was just talking about like how, man, like, damn, you kind of really understand what your parents were talking about years ago. You know what I mean? Picking the right one. Nah, you don't love that person. That person not good for you. Like, you start to realize, like, yo, dang, man, like, yo, Moms was right about that. Pops is kind of right, man. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's sad that, like Nick was saying, man, like, it got to be, you ain't got no one to talk to, yo. And the last person is your dad. I feel like, it should be the first person sometimes. You know what I mean? So we just like Boog was saying, man, we got to come to a point where we're kind of comfortable expressing our feelings to male figures that are close with us. But like you said, man, we got that macho, that tough guy, alpha dog mentality where, sometimes we just hold things in, man. We really do. But then to jump back to, us talking to our friends, sometimes, not all friends got the great advice, man.
Yeah, of course. Go to your friends within reason. Wow. I'm not going to go to some friends for something that's very serious, whereas I go to some other friends, you know what I mean? Yeah. I would. You know what I'm saying? Every friend has their certain spot in your life, and your brothers do too, the ones that you call brothers. you kind of categorize your friend group on like kind of like if some shit were to happen, what can I tell you and what can I trust you with? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
one thing I've noticed too, man, as I started getting older is, like friends that I'm really, really close with, even if they're not even in my situation, I'll express certain things to them. And one thing I started noticing is they start to feel comfort about expressing certain things to you when that time comes. You know what I
it's
mean?
contagious.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
contagious. It's contagious.
Because they start to see a maturity level from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, say for example, it's like 5 of us in the basement chilling or whatever. I might say something like, "Yeah, man, like I don't really got no time to myself. This, that, and the third, like blah blah blah." Really, just speaking the truth, just being honest. And some people, some people might not can't relate because they're single or they don't have a significant other that's serious. But then later down the line, you start to realize people like, "Yeah, man, like shorty, she won't even blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Oh yeah, shit, holla at me. What's going on?" You know what I mean?
It's funny you say it though. It's funny you say that though, because I actually had a couple situations like that where it's like I just started to wear my emotions on my sleeve. Where it's like I refuse to hold it in anymore, and I just come a couple of my homeboys like, I'm just laying it out, boom, 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 going through this, shorty tripping, my mom's, my kids, blah blah blah. Then later on down the road, just casual conversation. Like we literally just in the crib, just watching the game, drinking a little bit of something. We just, yeah, man, what's going on with you? And then they just like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. And then I'm, oh yeah, holla at me. And then we just get into it.
And you also got to take into account you're only gonna vent so much based on the experiences you've had with these people, right? So like for instance, like with me and Nick, I've known Nick since I was knee high, right? With you, our experiences and travel together, like we've been close friends before we had children, but the fact that we have children around the same age, that's our experience. You know what I mean? Like we're experiencing the same shit at the same time. So Nova's like a little over 3 weeks older than the twins, and I'll come to you like, bro, like I remember would text you when I couldn't get these babies to sleep for shit. I used to text Shane like, yo, when is this shit gonna end? Bro, don't worry, 3 months, you good. 3 months hit, this shit does not change. 6 months is the mark. Shit still ain't changed. All right, bro, 9 months, but you know what I mean? You still just need those pep talks from your boys. So it's also just the experiences that you've had with people. I think that allows you to open up your emotional channel to them.
This is so funny hearing y'all talk about 3 months and 9 months. I'm like, man, I got time in, man.
I know, right?
7 years in, bro.
You know, OG around here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about signing up for sports and school and all types of stuff, man.
Yeah, man, you on a different level, yo. You on the pro level. You a veteran. You on the veteran contract joint.
The veteran minimum.
But I was thinking about this, when we were talking about Lawrence. We talked about us, confining to our friends and our fathers and certain individuals. And, I really want to touch on us talking to our mothers. You know what I mean? Because for Lawrence too, man, I'm similar too. I talk to my mom damn near every day, or every other day. You know what I mean? Like all the time,
Same here, bro.
the same,
every
like
day.
Nick too. For a boy, man, a boy's first love is their mother, and a girl's first love is their father. So you know what I mean? It's normal for us to be very attached to our mother and want to confine to them because like that's the first woman we love. You know what I mean? They gave us the affection that we are now used to, that we want to get from other people too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I want us to elaborate on what do you feel, other than what I was saying, is like some of the reasons why you might reach out to your mom before talking to your girl or talking to your pops, or your friends. Like, what might be some of the reasons for it?
Well, for one, your mother is never going to judge you no matter what the fuck you tell her. So that's one, right? Because you can say some shit to her that you probably can't tell your boys, and they'll think you're fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that your mother is your soundboard. You know what I mean? There's been times, I remember when I was in college and when I was dealing with the passing of my grandparents. My grandparents died around my junior year of college, and she was just my soundboard. Like I would call her and she wouldn't even say a word. I'd be on the phone with her for hours, just venting, just letting it all out. Cause you feel you confide in the fact that your mom's not going to judge you for whatever the hell you're going through at that time.
Nick?
Yeah, I agree with all that, man. Like, yeah, so just to piggyback off Lawrence Book or whatever. So I thought in my mind every day, it could be how you feeling, what you doing today, and she'll hit me up too. Like, it's just like she's my best friend. I'll just put it like that. She's my best friend. And there's been times where I could just go through something and I hit her up and I'm talking. She's about to say something back. I cut her off because I'm like, just keep going. And she still won't judge me. Like, she'll be like, whoa, shut up. Like, she's not going to do none of that. She's literally just going to sit there and listen. And there's been times where it's like, Mom, I just need you to listen. I really don't even need anything back right now. Like, and she's like, okay. Well, she'll just listen. And you can't get that anywhere. And like you said, like, you could say the weirdest shit and she's still like, oh, it's okay, baby. And you up there just like, man, she's crazy. But that's my Dukes, man. And that's just like you said, like a son to their mother is like unbreakable. It's nothing you can say, tell the mom to about her son and vice versa. You got girls, so it's like, yo, you can't tell nothing about a dad and his little girl, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah. So that's, and Lily, like my little girl, she's 7. She's in first grade. She's starting to learn a lot about the world. She comes to me, and I love it. And I love it that she's just like just open.
All right, let me pose this next question to both of you, because actually, GQ, let's get your point of view on this too as well before I drop this next question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with both of y'all, man. Like, for me, man, my mother, man, I can find the women in my life. I don't know about you, man, but I was raised by like 4 women. My aunt, my mom, my other aunt, my grandma, and then my dad moved up here later in Jamaica, man, when I was in like 5th grade. So, to me, man, women hold a special place in my heart, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where I'd be without my grandma, my aunt, and my mom. So, even till this day, man, I call my aunts, and I talk to my grandma, my mom, probably more than I talk to my dad. I still talk to my dad, every other day and stuff like that. We always talk about sports, always. Like, I always text about that. But like my aunts, man, I can find in them and talk to them, man, because that's just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They raised me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that has also gave me an upper hand on kind of understanding women too. Because, when you grow up with 4 women,
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. It was me, mom's, my sister, and then my sister had my niece when she was around 17, 18. She was a young mom. So I was in a house full of estrogen. It was just me there. And I heard it all, bro. Everything from periods to breakups to all this shit. As a boy, you don't know, but you understand women a lot better though. Like as an adult.
It's funny you say that though, because I had my mom's, I got 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like my sister, she had a kid when she was 16, 17. So she had my little niece. So I'm 3 years younger than my sister. So I'm like all of 14. So I'm still in the house. So my niece is like 4. So it's got my mom, both my sisters, my niece. Like you said, I'm seeing all periods, relationships, estrogen, just through and through. And I'm just like, man. But it's like women is just, my dad was working all the time. My brother, he's just in the streets. So I was around all women. So like you said, Shane, women, they just hold a special part. And then I had a little girl. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then wait a minute. And then you having another girl.
Oh man.
Then you having another girl, bro. Congratulations.
Another one.
That's good, bro. But yeah. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Women hold a special part. The next segment. Oh, go ahead, Book, because you had a.
Yeah, I had a question. So what? Mm-hmm. So now that you are fathers, do you find it easier to go to your friends for emotional support? Because you want, so it's kind of, I'm gonna give you kind of like the back end of like the question. So you want your kids to come to you for everything, right? So you lead by example. Do you think that kind of gives you the push, the umph to step into that realm and go to your friends or go to your significant other about your emotions and show them what that looks like when you're not having a good day. You know what I mean? Having those conversations.
To my friends, some friends, you know what I mean? Like I got like two friends that I call every day, like all the time. We talk about everything. We just be, to them, I express my feelings, but to some friends, I'm not gonna express it because they might, not saying they're numb to it, but they wouldn't know how to react to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I'm just talking about those friends that you like. You call like I said, those friends that you call your brothers. You know what I mean? Like you said, you got two friends that you talk to every day. I got two homeboys that blood could make us any closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still, before I wouldn't go to them about certain shit. But like now that I needed an outlet. So like recently, I just talked about this pandemic and raising kids in a house, and I'm stuck at home. Like I'm losing my damn mind around here. They don't have kids. They can't experience. They don't know the experiences I'm going through. But they relax me and tell me, hey,
I get what you're saying. To me, I've never been at the point ever in my life where I had to vent out, and I think I probably get that from. I probably get that from my dad. I've never been in a situation where I had to get something off my chest, other than like in a relationship where Shorty might do something to tick me off. I'm like, listen, I gotta get this off my chest about you. But other than that, nah, man, it's just.
So that just tells us. So is it because you don't feel like the need to? Is the reason why you don't feel the need to vent because you already express your emotions already in the beginning, so you don't bottle it in?
It could be that too, but I don't think it's ever that serious. Like I never let myself get to that place where it's that serious for where I have to vent. You know what I mean? To some people, I know a lot of people where they're like, yo, I just want to vent about stuff. To me, I'm the person that's always listening, but I've never got to the point where I have to be like, yo, I got to tell you about this. You know what I mean? Because I just kind of know myself well enough to where, like, for me, man, like, I got the less stress you can ever think about. I know how to control myself. I know how to get myself to a certain level because as a man, like, yo, I have to, the way I look at it, yo, if I'm not balanced in life, I can't balance my family, yo. You know what I mean? That's how I look at things. Mm-hmm. And I learned that from like multiple people, just watching people talking to someone at the gym. I remember I talked to this one dude, but way before the pandemic. I'm like, yo, bro, I see you in here every time. He's like, yo, let me tell you something. He's like, yo, I told my family, I told my wife, if I can't mentally and physically be well for y'all, and that means me coming here and doing what I got to do, I can't do that for y'all when I get home. You know what I mean? And ever since then, yo, that's always stuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you as a man, as a husband, like, yo, you got to be balanced. You know what I mean? Because if you're not balanced, you're not going to be able to go home and balance everything out. So that's just something I always do.
Matter of fact, I want to run it back real quick because you asked GQ something that when you was talking about do you just you already kind of just express yourself on a regular to where you feel like you don't have to vent. I'm gonna say for me, yes, that's exactly what I do. So that just makes us a little different aspect where it's like I do like every day if it's on my mind, I'm gonna say it. Like this is bothering me. This is what's going on. We could be talking about taking a trip, basketball, whatever. I'm like, man, shorty tripping, like straight out the blue. and then they'll talk to me. So we gonna have that little group chat where it's like, man, she tripping, she did. It'd be something stupid, but they gonna sit there and listen, talk to me, and joke about it later. But that's me. Like I just say everything up front. It may be big, maybe little, but whatever it is, like I'm that person. Like I do express myself all the time.
Yeah, nah.
It's just
that's
me though.
No,
that's not you, man.
That is not fucking me, bro. I'm a introvert extrovert. I think that's what you call it. But I really keep everything between my two ears. Like a lot of times you'll never know what the hell I'm thinking or what's going on. And
I was telling someone that, yo. I was just telling someone that was listening to a podcast. I'm like, yo, they're like, yo, I like Lawrence's voice. I'm like, yeah, yo, he's a really good guy. And they're like, yo, like, I feel like he's a talker. I'm like, he's not though, yo. I said the same thing. I was like, yo, he's that dude. He's that dude where like, yo, he's only gonna really rap to you or talk to you like if he knows you or he's
I gotta
comfortable
trust you before I can say anything.
No,
but if we're in
right.
like a house party, this, that, and the third, he's not the dude walking up to everybody like, yo, this, that, and the third.
That ain't me. I'm in the corner. I'm chilling. I gotta survey the scene before I do anything, bro. But that's just been me my whole life. So now, like, I bottle so much shit in, and I think it's part of the male quota, I guess, if you want to say that. But I like I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve a lot of times, and when I do, I fucking do. But it's like I gotta like little shit stack up, and then one day some little shit might go wrong. I'll open the blinds wrong or some shit, and it'll just like all fall out of me. That's just me. But I gotta trust you to get that out.
It's perfect that you said that because, yo, it lines right into what I was about to say. So we talked about us talking about our close homeboys. We talked about us talking to our fathers, other individuals. Then we ran down to, you know, the women in our life, our mother. The next biggest thing is us communicating and expressing our feelings to our significant other.
Goes back to the other episode. I just was talking about that. How communication is key. Remember that?
Yeah, man. So like us expressing our feelings to, you know, our significant other, I think is huge. You know, same thing like what Nick was saying. I kind of do that too, but yo, I'm a person where like, yo, I just kind of express what I need to say to my significant other. But the one thing I can always say, it's all about the delivery. So your delivery is everything, everything. Like you can easily say, yo, Shane, put that shit over there. Or you could say, yo, Shane, next time you get a chance, if you could just pick that up and put that over there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's all about the delivery. So like, yo, the past few years, I think my delivery has changed tremendously, not only just with me talking to my lover or me talking to anyone, just in general, everywhere, me talking to my friends, people at work, just everything. And I wanted to just elaborate about both of y'all, like how do you guys feel about talking to your significant other about your feelings? Because I know there's some individuals that don't do that. And some individuals, they are like that. Like Nick said, they're like, I don't know, we'll get to what Nick says, but like for me, if I feel a certain way about something, like I give you a great example. I give you a great example right now, you know. The other day, my cousin had came in from Miami, right? And you know, my wife, yo, she's real anal about people being in the house this, that, and the third. And she's kind of lighting up a little bit. And I went upstairs, I was like, yo, you know, my cousin about to come in. How do you feel about that? You know, I know he just got off the plane a little while ago, and she was like, well, if he wants to come, y'all can go down in the basement. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go down in the basement, this, that, and the third. But I could tell like her mood and her attitude was just a little bit iffy, which I didn't like because when it was time for her brother and her our sister-in-law to come over, I'm cool with it. Off the jump, no matter where they came from, if they came off the plane or if they were quarantined 4 weeks ago, I was cool with it. So my whole thing was like, yo, give me the same respect and give me the same courtesy that I'm giving you. You know what I mean? And just off of the jump of that, I just went into a talk and we talked about that. Like, yo, like you gotta really compromise sometimes. You know what I mean? The same way I compromise this, that, and the third. So for me, I express it. You know what I mean? But go ahead and elaborate.
I want to touch on that first. I don't mean to cut you off, Bug, if you have something to say, but you know, the very first thing you said, delivery. Because there's been times where Shorty just been like, do this, do boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I mean, you could ask me to do that. Like, I don't feel like we've had this conversation. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Like, we're in a relationship. I'm not your child. So don't tell me what to do. Like, just flat out. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. If you do that, the rebel in me is gonna make me want to do the opposite. I'm like, if you be like, oh Nick, like you said, like if you get a chance, could you go do this, or could you please? I'm like, yeah, I got you. Whatever. Boom. And vice versa. If I sit here and tell her, I'm like, oh, go get that, she gonna give me the same reaction. I'm like, see, sometimes I test her, I do it on purpose. And
exactly.
I'm like, and I'm like, babe, do this, get that, what? And I'm like, oh, could you please, whatever. She look at me, and I'm like, and then she's looking like, okay, I get it. We've had those conversations, but as far as the other thing I want to talk about was timing, because there could be something that you need to talk about, want to talk about, and you got to pick the right time. Because if you're doing it right after, per se, an argument, or if it's something bad, even after something good happened, you got to think about that, because shit could go left real quick. And then you can get a whole different reaction or response, based on timing. So like I said, delivery, timing, those two things that you got to think about, especially when talking to your significant other.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. There's different ways. I don't know if it's just in the woman anatomy, but she runs the house. She does everything here for us. You know what I mean? I heard it on I Am Athlete with what's the coach the guy who used to coach the Browns? Hugh Jackson. He was like the male is the head of the snake, but the woman is the neck. So here with everything that she gets us to be able to turn and see different directions and, like, you know what I mean, different angles and different perspectives. As far as my delivery goes, my delivery is terrible, bro. And I tell you why it's terrible. So I don't put all my feelings and everything that's on my chest out there on Jump Street right away. That because I let it bottle up to me, it'll get to a point where I'll say some shit and then shit'll just go left real fast.
You raw. It's raw. You real raw.
Yeah, I got plenty of stories. I remember one time, bro, we were doing something and Ashley was trying to tell me to do something with the babies. And I was like, you should just go write a parent book. Just go write a parent book. Leave me alone, bro. He lost her shit on me. And that wasn't the message I was trying to give out. It's just what I was saying. It's more so with me. It's not what I'm saying. It's the message behind what I'm saying. Like, I know what I'm doing type of deal. But yeah, I ain't the best, but I'm working. Like I said, I'm working on it though. You know what I mean? Like I told you a couple episodes ago, my communication I don't think it's where it should be at. I think it's one of my biggest things that I need to improve on. And I'm improving it over time. You know what I mean? This shit's not gonna change overnight. So I just started to watch.
I want to touch on something real quick.
What?
My bad, bro. No, I just had it was a funny example because like something with the kids. So my girl, she got her son, and I got Lily, from two separate situations. So I tell her all the time, I'm like, and she has a little boy, and I'm like, yo, you're soft with him. Like, he does what he wants. Like, you're soft. Like, you don't discipline him. Like, he gets away with murder, pretty much. Right. So one day, I guess she was fed up with it, and she went off on him like, I told you for the last time, do this, do that, do that. So I'm just passing by, and I was like, that's what I like to see. Awesome. Like, okay, it was a smart ass remark, but bro, and she was like, shut up, just going crazy on me. I'm just like, oh, I'm like,
but she just caught up in the moment.
Timing was definitely bad. Yeah,
you could have waited for her to come down before you said anything. She was going to black on you anyway. She should have just waited. Yeah, she got alone, said something. But yeah, bro, for sure. Like it because it kind of trickles down. You know what I mean? I bottle shit in and then I don't know how to express it. And then sometimes we'll even get to a conversation. I'll try to express myself and I'll take a long pause and try to really think about what the hell I'm trying to say to her. And then I get frustrated with her because she thinks I'm done talking, but it's just me thinking. And I suck. I hate that. I hate the fact that I do this shit. And I always tell her, yo, I'm not done talking to you. And then she starts talking and she gets mad at me. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I can't think. And then I get frustrated. I get frustrated with myself. And I'm just like, fuck it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I just want to walk away. I want to get out of here.
Yeah, everyone is different, man. Like with me, my brain is moving faster than you can talk. You know what I mean? So when I'm in a situation, even with the podcast, like I'm already thinking like 2 steps ahead of whatever y'all are thinking. It's the same thing when I'm in a conversation with Jasmine, like, I'm already analyzing everything she said, her body language, and what I'm about to say, and I know exactly how I'm gonna pinpoint this shit. And she's like Lawrence though. She is where she don't know what she's thinking sometimes. Like she kind of like she'll stop and she probably won't talk, and she'd be like, "Yo, well, I can't think that fast." You know what I mean? She's like, "Yo, I can't think that fast." Like, but everyone's different, and I think it's just, just getting accustomed with everyone. I mean, not everyone, just getting accustomed with that person.
Over time, that shit iron itself out because you start learning each other. You know what I mean? Like,
it takes time, but it isn't easy because there's a lot of people that just like, they're not with that shit, There's a lot of people out there, trust and believe, they're just not with that shit. They don't want to hear about timing and delivery. They just like, yo, why can't you get it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that though, because when we first started dating, my girl was like that. She's just like, I don't care about time, I don't care about delivery. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Boom, boom. Then over time, like we had those kind of talks, and she started like, okay, it makes sense. Then like that's when our communication as a whole started getting better.
It's a maturity thing. So like, yo, one thing I've noticed too, I told someone the other day, I'm like, yo, you immature. But like when you say that to people automatically think that, yo, when they're over 25 years old, they're fully mature. No, you're not. There's certain aspects where you're not mature enough and you just don't understand. You are not, even Superwoman had attitude, I seen that shit in the Justice League. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's certain things we have to work on to where like your maturity level is just not there. And when I say that, I'm not saying in general like you're immature. I'm just saying in a certain situation, you just don't understand where I'm coming from and what you are trying to say to make the situation better. You're just in a one-way situation and you're immature about it. That's the situation, and just like, it's just like, it's just all about communication, like we all said. It's just about talking to people. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just saying, like, kind of it just really hit me real quick. So my mom and my dad, they actually had this one saying. They're like, a lot of times when you're communicating with somebody, they always listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. And I feel like that hit the nail on the head. I'm like, you're not understanding and listening to what I'm saying. You take one little piece of what you heard me say, and you're already firing at something to say back to that one thing instead of just getting all the information. And you're just like, we're not gonna get nowhere like that.
Nah.
So
yeah, my college coach used to be like, fuck, he's like, you're always hearing me, you're just never listening. And we never understood what the hell he was talking about. But then after like you grow up and you get in these moments where you're conversing with other people and other adults that it's just like they got a response. They just rapid firing at you to what you're saying, but it's not. You can't possibly process what I'm saying that fast unless you're GQ. Apparently GQ got some superpowers and some shit. I don't know what the fuck he got going on.
He's 3 steps ahead of you.
I think the thing with me, I'm already analyzing. I'm already analyzing some of your actions that you did before that I know you're gonna talk about. You know what I mean? So with my wife, like she does certain things. I'm already, so like Nick said, so I'm at another level. She does certain things. I'm already having in my head, like, all right, yo, that shit's kind of annoying to me. That shit kind of pissed me off. All right, bet. The time is not right. So I'm already ready. I've already got it. So then when we get into a certain issue and she starts talking about that, or this, and the third, I'm already analyzed it already. I'm ready bringing it to you. The time is now. I'm ready.
Yo, you a dangerous boy. I'm telling you right now, you dangerous as shit, bro.
Yo, while he was talking, I'm sitting over here like,
yo, I'm starting to realize I thought I was sharp. I'm the dullest motherfucker in the world now. Now that I've into this conversation.
I'm always ready to express myself, but like Nick said, man, it's always about timing. But like, I might, like for example, like my wife might say some shit like, "All right, yo, like Shane, yo, do that shit over there." All right, I might not say no shit right now, but later down the road, like Nick said, I won't do it that day, but I'll do the same exact shit, right? Like, yo, go put that shit over there. She be like, huh? I be like, yeah, see what I mean? Like, 2 days ago, you was talking to me
What's the problem?
You was talking to me the same way, and now I'm giving you the same delivery. And then we start talking this, then the third, and then we just start, talking, having a conversation about it.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I can't let shit boil over 2 days because by 2 days I'm already done. Got some other shit going on.
So yo, to me, I don't think they're not situations to where like, yo, I have to confront.
No, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like those situations there where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do the same shit to you 2 days from now, and I'll be by then somebody then cried, bust their lip. I'm in this bitch, fucking get ready to throw the house up on the hill. Like I just be forgetting about it. I can't wait. I got to address it right then and there.
The reason why I don't forget about it is because people are so complacent with acting the same way if you don't address it. Right. So if you don't address it, people would think it's cool. And at the end of the day, man, I think the biggest thing about it, and women talk about this shit all the time. They always talk about like, yo, men don't understand our feelings. Yo, men have feelings too, yo. So like, yo, if you're not respecting my feelings and you're not understanding where I'm coming from, like, yo, how are we gonna get good? But when it comes to your feelings, we gotta sit down. We gotta make sure we do this and nah, it gotta go both ways, man. It gotta go both ways. And I'm a person where like, yo, it's equal. It's equal in the house. If I'm gonna respect you and I'm always gonna cherish you, gotta do the same way here, man. Because like that's just not how it rolls in this house. In a brown house, that's not how that shit rolls, bro. Everyone gets treated respectively and great, man. Like that's just how it goes, man. And then it flows back to us, doing the same thing, for our daughter. She elaborates off of that. So like one thing my wife is, she's always like, yo, don't do this because nobody do it. But I also tell my wife, I'm like, yo, also show her us doing affectionate things too, because she will start to gravitate towards that too.
Yeah. I started doing.
I want to touch on something really quick too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Book.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it was just really quick what Shane was talking about as far as, in the household, equality, just if it's this way, we're going to do it every time, and, vice versa, where, this is another topic we can just talk to outside of this, but, my situation is unique. She had a kid, I had a kid. We're coming from two different families, two different ways, and we come together as one. She's raising her son a different way. I'm raising Lily a certain way. Then it's like we bring it together. She may do something I don't like towards her son, or she does something that I don't like towards my daughter. Then it's just like we just, constantly just got to figure out that balance, and that's tough. I'm gonna just say that, but but the same way where we are on the same page though. It's like in this house, it is about equality. It's just little things, like okay, well, don't do this with this. So like, well, if you're gonna do it with that kid, you gotta do it with that kid. If you tell them no to do this, you gotta tell them no that they can't do that. Just because he's two, it don't matter. Age don't matter. Like, and that is another issue, the age gap. But just to get back on what you were saying, with the whole, equality. If we gonna be this way, we gonna be this way. Like, don't try to act funny when it comes time you doing it. So, yeah.
Go ahead, bud.
In the Davis household over here, we are two God-fearing people, and we are very, very strong-minded. So we're working on our not our necessarily quality, but like our delivery, the way we talk to each other. Sometimes we check each other at the door a lot around here. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad. I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather you check me now about it versus letting this shit boil over. Then I'm thinking like, what the fuck? This was 2 days ago. I don't have to worry about. Why are we even talking about this? You know what I mean?
So one thing we definitely gonna have to say this for topics down the line is women being submissive to their male, and that might be a 5-part episode.
Bro, I don't even know how. Yo, we better tread on light water with that episode. I'm telling you right now, bro.
I'm gonna let y'all handle that.
Yeah, I don't even know how the fuck we gonna handle that conversation. I don't know what, and I'm not saying that it's true. It needs to be that way because I strongly believe in equality in the household.
No, but let me tell you something. You already said it, yo. You know why? Because just like you referenced the coach said he's the head. He's the head.
Yeah.
She's the neck. She helps
but
you move.
yeah, okay. This is a different. Listen, time out. We're not about to get into this shit right here. This is not.
Listen.
That's a good point. That's a good point, though.
Okay, it's true, but it also, hold on. Also, it's a generational thing too.
Listen, let me say something.
So we also got to think about that. Times are different.
Diaper Dad fam, this is a great episode. We had Nikki D in the building. Boog, tune in for the continuation of what we're about to talk about, probably on the next episode. We are out, man.
Yeah, make sure you guys check us out. Like I said, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. The links in our Instagram page. If you haven't followed us yet, Diaper Dads, Diaper.Dads, of course. We'll check you guys out next week. Hope you guys enjoy watching this just as much as we enjoy recording it.